नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरु आत्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। I will chant the 8 mantras of the Upanishad, first chapter. Om Keneshitam Patadi Prekshitam Manaha Kena Prana Pratama Praiti Yuktaha Keneshitam Vachamimam Vatanti Chakshutchotram Kahudevo Yunakti Shrotrasya Shrotam Manaso Manoyad Vachoha Vacham Sahu Pranasya Pranaha Chakshushachakshu Radimuchyadira Pretyasma Lokat Amrita Bhavanti न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाक्गच्छति नो मनः न विद्महो न व्यजानीमो एतदनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदिता ततो अविदितादति इति शुश्रुम पूर्वेषाम् येन तस्तादिचक्षिरे यद्वाजानभ्युदितं येन वागभ्युदिते तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदमिदमुपासते यन्मनसा न मनुते येनाहुर्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदमिदमुपासते यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुंसि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदमिदमुपासते यच्छ्रोत्रेण शृणोति येन श्रोत्रमिदं श्रुतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदमिदमुपासते प्रयत्प्राणेन प्राणेति येन प्राणः प्रणीयते तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदम् upasate. So we started 2 days back with the introduction of the Upanishad, being highly mystical in nature and philosophical in nature. It started with a dialogue with the student asking the master, what or who is the driving force behind which my mind, the prana and the vak, chakshu, shotram, all of them, my experiences. For my experiences to come into enlivening or to become an experience itself, the indriyas I know as are organs of the body has no potency of its own, but there must be a uniting force or a power or a source from where they get power to function their own work, plus also the individual functions of the individual organs are merged together to get a totality of experience within myself. What is that which is with these things are happening? So when this question was asked, the master told, Shrotrasya shrotam manaso mano yad vajoha vacham sahu pranasya pranaha chakshusha chakshur adimuchyadira pretyasma lokata amrita bhavanti. It was a rant or a soliloquy, as if it's a soliloquy by the master itself. When such questions are asked, any person who is in the process of contemplation will naturally move into contemplative mood. And when he talks in a contemplative mood, the words have got very mystical or, philosophical meaning, which ordinary literary meaning cannot divulge the meaning of it. So he says it is the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, word of the word, and the breath, the life, the air, the pranasya pranaha, and his eye of the eye. And people, that one who is courageous enough to know what this is, that who is that or what is this, having detached from this loka, from the enjoyment or for the cognition or for the perception or for engagement of the world, they establish themselves in the state of immortality. So, and then the master further says that na tatra chakshur gacchati na vak gacchati no manaha na vidmaho na vijanimaha edat anushishyad. Now the word, the tatra chakshur gacchati, the eyes cannot reach that place where the eye is being propelled by what force? The eye cannot see itself, or the force with which eyes are able to see, that cannot be seen by the eyes itself. Navag gachati, neither can the words go to the source of that to describe that through its own potency of walk or the sound. No manaha, neither can the mind contemplate or even imagine or give an idea or a picture of what it is like that. Neither the mind can reach that state where it is from where it is coming. Na vidmaha, we do not know. Na vijanimaha, we do not know how to explain it also. And even edadanushishyad, how do we explain that? Because it is beyond words, beyond mind, beyond the ears, beyond the words. So how do I explain that is the question which the master is, as if in the soliloquy he is saying that to the student. Then he says that, okay, let me at least try making some sense to what I am saying. So he starts with one, in the continuation of the Nachachurgatati, then he says that Anyadeva tad viditat ato aviditadati. Idi shishruma purvesham yena satvyata chakshire. Now this mantra, even though I explained in the last class, there has been back channel request that this and the meaning of this is not very clear. So for that purpose, I am going to slightly explain it in a different way. Anyat eva tad viditat. Anyat eva. So when we say anyat, anya means sapra, apart from that. Eva means alone or by that alone. That, tat, anyat eva viditat. The other than what is known, viditat, means that it is other than what is known. We have an experiential world of both internal world and external world as what we know it is from our experiences. And we also bring it out of memory, which is past experiences stored in the form of memory. So both put together, all the known things is either in the past or what is known currently being experienced in our in the day-to-day life. Atha means also aviditat adi. It is beyond the unknown. That means what is known is one set, what is other than that, which I do not know, but I may even consider it is existing or non-existing. That comes into the category of unknown. But it is said, aviditat adi, it is beyond that. Now, how can something which is beyond unknown exist? When I am saying I have known set of objects or certain known set of experiences, and the rest is all included in the unknown. So, even the one which is beyond unknown is still in the unknown only. But the word adi, when that is said that it is neither known nor unknown, it has to have a different meaning altogether, which it is neither known. You cannot say neither it is known nor it is unknown. It is known at the same time it is unknown. Then only it can become beyond the unknown. Ato aviditatati. Now, for example, it's a very, very basic example which we say. Imagine a child being asked by a father being asked by a child, Father, can you explain me what is space? I said that, the space shuttle is going, something is being sent into the space and all. What is that space? I know when you are taking me to the market or to the school or the hospital, I know what it is. But what is space? Can you explain it to me? So the father explains to the child saying, see son, you look at where the sun is shining and in the night you see the stars and the moon and all. All that what you see up above is called the space. So the son asks, if that is the case, you have told me earlier that like the moon, the sun, the earth is also a planet. So the planet also must be in the planet Earth also must be in the space. So the sun, when he asked the question, Father knew that the sun is not coming down to ordinary thing. He is slightly intelligent enough to understand that. So he says, yes, it is in space that Earth also is there, as because it's a planet like, other planets are suspended in the space. But you didn't tell me what is space, Dad. Please explain me. I know that you say this is all existing in space. But how do I know what is space? The father is coming to a situation where he is difficult to explain that. He has to now use the words which the boy is not able to grasp with his own knowledge. Neither the father has the knowledge how to explain it, even though he knows it. But there are no words to explain it. He says that it is in which all these things exist. The planet, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the earth, and everything exists. So the son asks, if that is the case, if the sun and the planet and the moon exist, if the earth is also existing, means, do you mean to say you exist, I exist, we also exist in the space? Then father says, yes, we are also existing in space. Unless without space, nobody can exist or nothing can exist. So then the question is very, very going from the external world to the more inside. So if the son asks, what happens if the space is removed? The father has no answer. Where will you remove the space to where? That state when the mind becomes dumbfounded or where the mind cannot go there, it is, you can say that is the state where the words cannot reach. The mind cannot reach. The eyes cannot reach. This is a very gross example. You cannot explain how the space can be removed from an object. Even if you want to remove it, where will you remove it to? You cannot remove it. Or even if you assume that technically or hypothetically you want to do it, where can you remove it? And if you remove it, will the object exist without the space? These are the questions which will come up. Same is the situation when the master is this Kenopanishad teacher is being asked by that student. He has to say the same thing. It is neither known, it is not unknown, it is beyond the known and the unknown. That type of a statement is making that only way it is. You cannot say it is known because we know space, we know. But at the same time, do you know what is space? If you know what is the space, please tell me. You can explain to me. If that is the case, you should remove it and show it to me, or you have to explain it in the words. Just because saying it is the one in which everything is existing doesn't mean that in my dream the whole world is existing and the other set of world is existing in my dream. Is the space there in my dream? The child can ask that question, no? So these type of questions, when it comes, the ordinary answers will not be able to explain it. You have to say it is known, at the same time it is not unknown. It is beyond known and unknown, at the same time it is both known and unknown. So it is in a situation like this that this word Anyadeva vididat ato avididat ati, that word is being used by the Rishi. And then for him he said Idi Shishruma Purvesham Yena Tat Vyacha Chakshire. This is how my predecessors, my teachers to whom I have asked the same question, they have explained to me, and thus we hear from the past masters, this is how it is to be understood, that it is known, unknown, yet beyond known and unknown. Yet vajana abhyuditam yena vag abhyudite tadeva brahmattam vidhi nedam idam upasate. This is the fourth mantra. Yet vachana abhyuditam. Vach means words. that which is not expressed by the words, but by which the word gets the potency to express and give an experience when we hear it. Vag abhyudite. That is not what the words can describe it. But when we hear words, there is an experience within us which is happening by the words. What is causing that experience? Definitely not the words. Because if the words have been giving the experience, every time we hear same word, the same experience should happen. But that is not what is happening. Depending upon the circumstances or depending upon the context of the word which is being used, the words have conveyed different experiences within ourselves as knowledge or information. To make that more clear to the student, the master says, Na idam yet idam upasate. Not this, what you understand as this. This means the word. Idam means the word. So here the word, there are two ways in which we can look at it. Aham and idam are the two ways in which we have interaction or experience in the world. I am the experiencer. Everything else, idam, is this, which is an object of experience for me. Or everything else which is if you are a meditator, you will be meditating on some object as a object of meditation. That is also not what you are meditating upon, is not what Brahman. Tat eva brahmatvam vidhi. You should understand that as Brahma, with which the words create an experience of knowledge within ourselves when we hear the words. The words has a power only when that power is enjoyed by the words, it makes a meaning for it. Now, another example which we can bring it is a person who is sleeping or who is awake but not giving attention. When you call him for the first time, even if the word has a potency to reach his ears, he doesn't acknowledge it because the word has reached his ears. The vibration of the sound wave has traveled from your mouth to all the way to his tympanum in the eardrum. The sound has fallen, but he has not heard it. But only that when it is functioning or that is giving the power to the words, the word which you are falling into your ears makes an experience to you as you have heard it. That you should know as that power, that is what is called Brahma. Na what you think as is idam, the other than the word. So that means here word, the adam, when I am defining that or other, idam is not what Brahma, then aham and idam, in that I have to remove all idam, then there is an aham. Then I will think that I am the one, then what is to be considered as Brahma. To remove that notion from the mind, he immediately says the fifth mantra. Yan manasa na manute yena hur manomatam tateva brahmatvam vidhi nedam idam upasate. Here he is saying that when I am saying not this, so you have removed everything from the world of objects and experiences outside other than you, then immediately you will think, oh, what I am imagining is what is Brahman. To remove that idea from the mind, he says, not by the mind. What you think by the mind is not what it is. But the power of which the mind can think about it, or the way in which the mind is functioning can happen only in the presence of that. Yenahur manomatam. That is what is being to be told by the mind as we mind, not the function vritti. Here you have to understand the vritti and the knowledge. See, what happens in the typical sense is that awareness is one thing. When an object or a sensory input comes, there is a ripple in the awareness which is called the vritti or the thoughts or the flow of thoughts. Now these thoughts, when they are active, we call it as mind. But when that vibration or the pulsation, the spandanam doesn't happen in the awareness because of without the sensory inputs, the mind is not having the thoughts. This is what happens when the sound was heard. That did not create the ripple in the mind to know it as a thought, to know the sound. But the awareness of the substratum was there. That sound could not make a ripple in the mind to make it as a thought, with which the memory comes back saying that, okay, he called my name. That is taken from the memory. So that has not happened. So here the Rishi says, yet manasana manute, that is not with which the mind is thinking, but which mind is having the potency to think. That is what is to be known as Tadeva Brahmattam Vidhi. Not, though there are people who are doing Mana Upasana, thinking that, watching the thought and mindfulness and all those things being done to concentrate on the mind and mind's activity. But in that process also, there we should understand that there is the observer or the one who is mindful of mind. That is different from the mind and the one who is observing the mind. The observer of the mindfulness is different from the mind. And the knowing of the mindfulness is also known in that awareness, not in the mind. So, Tadeva Brahmattam Vidhi Nedamidam Upasate. Then comes to the next one is our Chakshu. Yat Chakshushana Pashyati Yena Chakshumsi Pashyati Tadeva Brahmattam Vidhi Nedamidam Upasate. Again the same thing. Chakshushana Pashyati. It cannot be seen by the eyes because it is not an object of vision, both external and internal. You cannot even internally create, the Angushtamatra Purusha, like a Jyoti inside our right hand side of the heart. There is a fire flickering. There are people imagining that. Mental, visual projections in the mind. So to ward off all that, again he's saying, because the student has studied the Upanishads. So he may immediately think about what is told in the Kenopanishad, Angushtamatra Purusha, Jyoti, Antarjyoti, which without the smoke it is burning. All those Upanishad words comes to his mind. So that the student can think about a visual imagination. Oh, that is the Brahman, like the size of a thumb, and like a thumb, without flickering the lamp, the burning inside my heart. No. Yet Chakshushana Pashyati, Yena Chakshumsi Pashyati. Neither internal vision nor the external vision. External vision being gross, the student is intelligent enough to understand. Master is telling not about the world outside, he is talking about something which is within me. Naidam idam upasate. So that has taken off the entire world of experience from the outside, from my purview. So, but yet I can still imagine something that which is as an idea or visualizing something inside as myself or my real nature or Brahman in me. So toward of that he says, Yat Chakshusha na pashyati. The eyes cannot see that. That is why viditat ado aviditat ati. So any type of knowledge or ignorance or the beyond knowledge cannot be included in it. So what Chakshushansa Pashyati, what is seen by the eyes externally or internally, will be an item which is belonging to the known or the unknown. But aviditat ati, this is beyond that. So, but at the same time, there is this which is with which things are known by the eyes, both externally and internally. Whether you are in a waking state, you see the world of outside, or whether you are in a dream, you see a world of internal creation of, because of there is an internal organ of vision which is projecting the dream. So don't think that you are either of that, neither the external nor the internal I can divulge this, but because of which only in the presence of that the experiences of the world, both internal and external, happens. This is why happens when you are visually seeing a world outside, somebody walks in front of you, or some event takes place in front of you, you do not recognize that because the awareness was not there for the eyes to observe that. Same thing in the dream. Whatever happens, we are not aware of what happens in the dream. And even when the dream stops, we are in our deep sleep. So there is no perception of anything in the deep sleep. So all those things shows that the awareness from within which, or that power with which the mind, the walk, the eyes, everything functions, is what is to be known as Brahma, not what we normally meditate upon or understand upon in the world outside. Then comes the seventh mantra. Yat shotrena na shrunoti yena shotramidam shrutam tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedamidam upasate. Now, there are meditation methods and meditating on the Nadopasana or the Omkara Upasana, listening to the Om sound and Upasana. So to ward off that type of imagination which can happen to the student, yat shotrena na shrunoti. You cannot hear Brahman. You cannot hear Atman or Brahman with your ears. But yena shrotram idam shrutam. Only if that is functioning or that is powering your ears, you can hear what is the world outside, or whether inside or outside, internally or outside. The mental chatter or the external chatter which you hear, both can happen only through the presence of that, and that is what is called the real listening. One is hearing and one is listening. In either case, both the cases, it can happen only if there is that power which is within you and giving the organs the power to function their own. Think that is Brahmatvam, not what you are doing the meditation upon, like the Omkara Upasana or Nada Upasana or the Vedic chantings or mantra, tantra, all those things, japa, nama, japa, all those things is upasana only, but only if this is enlightening or empowering your ears, your actions have got any meaning. So understand that what you do externally or your internal meditations or Nada Upasana or Brahma Upasana or all those type of Upasana is not what is Brahman. Tateva Brahmatvam Viddhi. That you should understand the power in which everything, every organ starts functioning. And that is to be understood as that is your nature, and Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi. And that is some Brahma and Tvam. Both are that. So Tad Eva, that alone is Brahma, Tad Eva Tvam. That way you have to make a meaningful word of that. Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi. So in the simple sentence, the word will look like, that alone Brahma you should know. But that is not exactly how the Rishi wants you to understand. Tadeva, that alone, which is that, with which the eyes is able to see, with which the mind is able to mind, which the ears can hear, or the listening or hearing happening that is Brahma and that is you. Tadeva Brahma, Tadeva Tvam Viddhi. Na idam edidam upasate, not what you think as an object of your meditation, which you have been doing all this while. Now he comes to the last mantra of the first canto, which says that yat pranena praniti yena prana praniyate tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam idam upasate. Now here comes the prana part of it. All of us have been told from the time we have knowledge that when the breathing stops, the prana stops, the body is dead. The life force is prana. And there is a pranopasana also given in the Upanishads and the Vedas, where how to meditate upon the prana. And prana upasana will lead you to higher worlds of experience like Brahmaloka and Hiranyagarbha Prapti, etc. Even that is not Brahma, that is upasana. So nedam idam upasade. Don't even think that the prana what you are doing the upasana with which you want to go to Brahmaloka or the Hiranyagarbha Loka, that is the prana with which is the Brahma. No, it is which prana is the praniyate. The prana becomes prana only in the presence of that. That vital force becomes vital only in the vitality of Brahman or Atman. That is what is to be known as Brahman, not what we've been meditating upon the prana or the what you call the upasaka vastu of pranopasana. So we should understand that even when the prana leaves the body become dead, inert and everything. It doesn't mean that Brahma or Atma has left the body. All it has done is it has withdrawn the power from the prana to breathe itself. It has withdrawn the power from the eyes to withdraw the power, the vision power. It has withdrawn the power from the mind to mind. It has withdrawn the ears, the power of hearing. So all those things have been withdrawn from those becomes inert objects attached to the body. And that is what happens when the physical body is being discarded by anybody. But Tvam Viddhi, you are still there. You should know that even when these things are withdrawn, you are not going to be in any way amrudatvameti. Pretyasmad lokat amrita bhavanti. He is taking back you to the second mantra. Where they saying, when you are withdrawing from all those things, either during death or your understanding with your knowledge, you withdraw from your operations of your eyes, your operation of your ears, operation of your mind, operation of your prana, etc. as what you know as the energy or that which is your real nature. You are the one because of which the prana is working. You are the one because of which your mind is working. You are the one because of which your ears are hearing. You are the one because of which your eyes are able to see. Tad Tvam Brahmasmi. That you are Brahma. You are that. That is what you should be known. Not what you think as a prana with which we have been doing the upasana all these years. So with this, the first part is coming to end, but the second part is the most complex part of this Upanishad. Even though it has got only 5 mantras. Some of them are in the prose order, some are in the sloka mantra order. But this part which has been now is only a preamble to the meditative part which is going to come. How do we do that? See, it is easy to explain that this is not that, this is not that. Then when you are negating that, the question which will come in the mind is, if these are all negated, what is that which I should be doing, or what is that which I should know? Tadeva Brahma Tvam Viddhi. You are telling to me to know that as Brahma. So how do I do that? You are not telling me the process with which I should do that. This is being taken up in the next kanda with the starting mantra, which we will deal it in detail in the next class. Yedi manyase suvededi deharamevati nunam tvam veta brahmano rupam yadasya devot na vimamsyameva te manye viditam. What does it mean? In simple sentences, it says that if you think that you know quite well, with all those things which I told you till now, that it is the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, prana of the prana, and tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, which is not what you have been doing the upasana till now. If you think that you have understood, very little you know about it. You have not understood what I have said till now. If you think you know that, you are not understood, because it is something which cannot be known. That is why Atho Viditat Atho Avititat Ati is the first statement which the Guru says. It is neither you can group it into the known, nor you can group it into the unknown. It is beyond the known unknown, because it is both known and unknown. So it is beyond the known and unknown. So there is why if you think you know Brahman quite well, very, very, very little did you understand what I told you till now. And that is where the next chapter begins with. He is saying that if you have created any mental image of what is to be known, what I have understood from all these, what my Guru has said, Guru is giving you a total bouncer by saying that if you have mentally constructed anything, please, you have not understood it. You have not understood if you say you know it. If you say that you do not know, that means you have not thought about it also. In either way, you are not understood this properly. This is now being explained in next 5 mantras in the next kanta or next section of the Upanishad, which we'll get into more details, because that needs very high level of analysis and thought process, which we will do it in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.